Hi, and welcome back to CyberVibeCheck. My name is Quentin, and today I'm going to show you how to build a risk assessment heat map by using AI and Excel. And pretty much I'm going to jump straight into it. So, an analyst can't bring a list of CVEs to a board meeting. Half the people in that room, if not 90% of them, are not going to know exactly what all that means. And so, um, we need to be able to say, okay, we have 3 critical tasks, 5 high risk tasks, and 2 low risk tasks that we can put off into our next season, right? And so here's why we're prioritizing these, and here's the why. And your heat map or your assessment matrix is going to be kind of your bread and butter for creating that translation layer, right? So before we get into that, the first thing I'm going to talk about is likelihood versus impact and what those mean. But before I even do that, what is a risk assessment? So, at its core, a risk assessment is the process of identifying, analyzing, and evaluating potential risks that may impede the achievement of objectives. In cybersecurity terms, that could be adding a new AWS service or discontinuing using a specific technology product. What risk does that put towards the organization who are investing their assets into these goals? Within that umbrella, you're going to have two things that we are going to use as a multiplicity. So you have likelihood, which is the probability of an event occurring, versus impact, which is what will happen or what are the effects if this event were to occur. And within that, you're going to multiply them. So here's just the definition of impact. It describes the extent of the damage or disruption if the risk actually materializes. So, like I said, that formula is risk equals likelihood times impact. And you could set a measurement or a value to those. So, the goal of this is to help plot your risk on a matrix, right? And you're going to see us go right into that here now. Okay, so this is going to be our first look into the risk matrix. And you can see I already have Claude added on as an add-in. And you could do that pretty simple. Just click add in, search Claude, install it, log in. And as you can see me scrolling up here, this is the prompts that I have created with a lot of tweaking in order to allow others to do this at home. So, although I have done many courses over my college years of Excel, I could build the pivot tables, we could write the formulas. Um, I'm better at it more in accounting and statistics more than anything, but same things still apply. And I wasn't going to go in and develop all the formulas for this amazing chart. And you can find these online to download as well. Um, I believe I looked at a few images in order to come up with my own kind of setup, which is they're all very similar and do the same function, right? So this is our chart itself. See, very high as far as the impact goes, can go all the way to minor. And then on our that's our x-axis. And then on our y-axis, we're going to have our likelihood all the way from very unlikely to certain. And then, of course, you can set a value to those, which you'll see me have below as far as your impact 1 through 5, your likelihood 1 through 5 as well. And then your risk rate, which is just through colors, and you could see negligible, low, medium, high, and then critical, right? So here I have created a risk register of all the risks that my home lab or simulated home lab could run into here at home, right? But you can do the same on a company level, whether it's a phishing attack on employee credentials, ransomware infection, stolen company laptop with sensitive data, And you could see here that the likelihood and the impact on multiplying those two cells together to get my risk score, right? If your risk score is above a certain range, 15 and above, I believe it is critical. 10 to 15 should be high, 5 to 10 should be medium, and then, of course, low and then negligible as it goes on, right? And these were all just done with conditional formatting. You're going to see Claude. I'm going to pull it back up, and like I said, it did pretty much all the heavy work in getting the cells to move as one. Whenever you change your likelihood or your impact, let's say I were to change it to 1, now the risk level has jumped to low. And you're going to see in our cells up at the top that the R-01, our register ID 1, moved from very high to very unlikely, but still high if the impact were to occur. But it's now very least likely. And you set that standard for yourself if your company does not already have a framework for this. So I'm going to give it a return. So here you're just going to see a couple clips of me. I'm just pointing out a few things. This is a voiceover, but you can add, once you enter this prompt into your Claude that is inside of your Excel as an add-in, you can add this as a skill, and it'll give you the options to add it. I'm looking for it now. I did forget to hit save, so I'm pointing to something. I thought that was it, but it's not. Even though we are doing an audit, you can save it as a skill within itself, and it'll pop up a little bit later. Hopefully I have a clip coming up here in a moment. But you can save this as a skill if you're dealing with larger data sets, if you're dealing with more complex risk that you need help identifying. Okay, could this occur? Could this not occur now? When this would happen? If the impact is more impactful than you may perceive, then that's something you can use your AI to kind of give you guidance over. And then always refer back to the framework set by your company. Most likely, most places, they have organizations, they have a framework set up for this. If not, and you're developing that, this is a tool that you can use with AI, Excel, in order to set this standard for your organization. So that's going to be pretty much it for this lab. Not super long. I implore you to use this prompt. I will absolutely put it in the description of this video, post it in the comments as well, just in case can't see it or whatever the issue may be. But I implore you to use this skill, try it out for your own, play with it a little bit, mess up the document, make some mistakes, and then you could go back in, find your errors, and fix them. And you can use AI to help you do that as well. It's not something you have to just think of off the top of your head. Like I said, this isn't something new that's developed. This is just a way for you to understand the building blocks of why this is important. Why is it important to identify and understand the risk when it comes to cybersecurity? And this is a really great skill going into interviews, already knowing how to design a quantitative 5x5 risk assessment heat map, using likelihood by impact scoring to prioritize organizational risk and present findings in an executive ready format. And this is a way for you to do that and add that experience to your resume. That's going to be it. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment if you have any questions. If you use a different tool, if there are specific web apps you use or your organization used to put in your risk assessments, I would love to hear about it. Show others new technologies that are being developed, tools, or how tools are being used in today's current cybersecurity market. And we'll see you for Lab 6.